Okay, welcome guys. Welcome back to my cybersecurity channel. Promise Fachi, and we'll be discussing cybersecurity. And I will be investigating a phishing link that I came across, which was sent to me through a TikTok or via TikTok. This one basically was a message saying, I think let me just show you the image so as you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, I cannot find the image that I was looking for, but otherwise, basically what this message was saying on my TikTok direct in my inbox was telling me that this person wants to commit suicide and the world has done something and she has been in solitude, and she sent me a link. So I thought maybe I should share this investigation. So I'll be doing this in real time, because if you see some errors, just know that it's me who has not gone through it, and this is actually happening live as I present this to you. And also, let's just go and see. So I'm going to open, or rather my Windows sandbox is already open. So I'm going to go into my Windows sandbox, this one here, and then I'm going to open my browser. And from there, let's just go and see the link that I got. So this is the site. This is the link that's there. This is the links that there. Sorry about that. So I have copied this link, and now I'm going to go into my Windows sandbox while we wait for it to load. Okay, so my sandbox has loaded, so we're going to now go into the site. Hopefully it won't block me. Yeah, so we're waiting to see how the site is going to perform. Okay, so the site has opened. Let me just make it full screen. The site has opened, and this turns out to be a cryptocurrency site, Nebula X. So it's anniversary. The last time I checked, it was different than this. So let's log in into the site. I don't trust this site though, according to how I did it. So I'm going to walk you through this live demonstration of how I investigated it. So the person also provided me with their username and password. So I'm going to just do the needful. I'll just paste it here, and then we'll do that. If I'm not mistaken, that should be the right password. And then we enter that. So we have 5765. Let's see. Okay, I logged in correctly. So we just wait for it to load. Alright. So I'm in my sandbox here. I'm not directly in my actual browser. So it's safe for me to explore this site. Okay, so we're going to go further into the site. So here, the person wanted me to withdraw the money in cryptocurrency and then convert it to cash. So we just look at it. It supports different Ethereum, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and many others. The last time I checked this site, it was actually also supporting Binance. So by default, these numbers just look like this. They don't change. That's how it is. And what we're going to do is investigate this site further. So that was the home. Let's try going to the trade page. Okay. So this was the balance it told me to withdraw or to remove always. So this is basically a cryptocurrency phishing link. From my observation, just when I just looked at the site and everything, it doesn't look legit. I love how the color combination and how somewhat realistic it looks and everything. So you can see the site here and everything. VIP members can only click transfer without a key. So let's see, try to see if we can do an internal transfer. Okay, that button doesn't work. So already you can tell, okay, this site has some issues. And then let's check my account. This is how you do an investigating links. So yeah, now we can go and check on VirusTotal. So here I use VirusTotal to scan phishing links. So I'll just open VirusTotal here. Okay, I've opened VirusTotal. And now I can now put the URL or the link. So it's www.gom.cc, and then we try to see if any vendors are going to flag it to be malicious. So here we're seeing that from adminus labs is showing that the phishing link is malicious. Cyber Radar is also showing that the phishing link is malicious. Force Point Threat Seeker. So here it's already an indication that these are this is a phishing link on its own. So let's try to see the details that are there for this link. So according to alphamountain.ai, this is a phishing link. Yeah, I think the phishing link is done by alphamountain.ai, if I'm not mistaken. And then first point threat seeker, I send suspicious content. Then we were able to see the final one, which is the link, the receiver's IP address, and the status code 200. Means it's okay. It's going through the page, and it's using a a hashed algorithm of SHA-256. We can see that it has X-frame header options. This is now on the HTML code, and we have moved from the basic understanding of this, from just viewing the website to find out if it's malicious, to now the technical standpoint. For those of you that is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Promise Fashi. I am a cybersecurity professional with 3 years of experience. My 3 years was marked by the end of 2025 last year, and now I have 3 years and 1 month experience in cybersecurity. So according to the SHA-256 algorithm, there's nothing to look at here. So everything is okay. Let's wait for it to finish analyzing, and we'll be back when it's done. Okay, so it's showing that it's not detected. Let's view the details. Okay, so it's using an MD5 hash, it's using SHA-1, SHA-256, multiple hashes basically. The file type is an HTML, it's using ASCII text with very long lines. And then according to this, it's saying the file seems to be plain text. So let's move to the next one, where now we get to investigate this link. So I'm going to go into my Kali Linux, and then I'm going to go into my Kali Linux into this. So I'm going to say using the whois command. So I'm going to say sorry, whois www.gom.cc. So this is going to tell us about the registrar, the account owner, and the creation date of this registration. So if this link is new, it will show us, it will tell us. So basically we're getting all the info necessary. So let's just wait for it to load. Okay, so now let's scan through everything that we need to know. Okay, no matches for www. Okay, let's see. Hasn't found anything. Let's try a different command. So I'm going to just clear this and do an ns lookup. Let me just wait for it to load. Okay, so here it's telling us that the server IP address is this one, 192.168.25.2, and the address for that server is 192.168.25.2 hash 53, and then saying an unauthoritative access, the name of the site which we have just put here, and this is the address it's using, and then the name again and the address. So it's provided multiple addresses. So the next thing we can do now is you look for the host IP address. So it's a host, and then we're going to say www.com.cc. Okay, so it's provided two IP addresses, rather four IP addresses, two for IPv4 and two for IPv6. So we'll pick one of these to test the following as we are investigating this. Okay, so we found out what it is. So now we'll try another two. This one's called the harvester. So say harvester dash d, and then we're going to say dash com dot cc, and then we're going to do, sorry, just a minute, gom.cc, and then dash b, and then we're going to say dash all, just all now. So the harvester is an open source intelligence tool that will help us find basic information about the site, and now we just wait for it to load and we see if there's any information that we can get from it. So far it's loading, and let's see the search results that are there. So this is basically a quick information gathering pen test. So here it's going to go through multiple scans to find out the information that we need for this site. So I'll be back. I'll be back when it's done loading. Okay, it seems like the scan is taking long, so let me just do that. Just do a Control C. Then let's move to the next one. Yeah, we're trying a different command now that will investigate further. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to say amas-enam-d.com.cc dash passive. So I'm going to say dash o, and then I'm going to say phishing site .txt. So it's going to be saved whatever file. So this is enumeration, DNS enumeration, to find out more about the site. So we're going to wait for it to load, and let's just see what happens from there. So we're giving it a bit of time, and let me just pause and then we'll be back when it's fully loaded. Okay, now we are making steady progress. Instead coming, so let me just walk you through for those of you that don't understand what's happening. So this is DNS enumeration, so domain name server enumeration. This is finding out the domains that are related to the so-called address. So these are the IP addresses that we found earlier, these two here, 104.21.25.103 and 172.67.134.2. So these are the IP addresses that we found using NetBlock. and then we are seeing the FQDN, and then we are seeing the records according to the IP address. So it has Cloudflare, it's using Cloudflare here. We're seeing who's managing this site. So it's showing Cloudflare net, and then so let's just say the site is being managed by Cloudflare so far. So we'll be back once it's done, and well, let me just do this. Let's go to the next step, which is DNS enumeration using DNS Recon, one of my favorite tools. So I can say DNS Recon dash d, let me say gom.cc, and let's see what happens from there. Okay, so we've managed with our DNS Recon, domain name saver reconnaissance info. So it's performing general enumeration against gom.cc. So it's looking for meaning here saying DNS security or DNSSEC is not configured. We're seeing again it's showing us that the site is using Cloudflare. The name server is Cloudflare that the site is using. What else can we find out from here? So we're looking for the bind version. We can see a lot of things here. Okay, so we have been getting the information that we needed from the DNS recon. So let's try to check if AMAS is done. Okay, it's still going. Now, since the DNS recon is done, let's try another tool to find out more, because this is passive OSINT, which is open source intelligence, finding out the publicly available information that also helps us map out the target surface or the attack surface rather, and to see what the attacker is doing, what they're hiding, and why this attack, to be honest. So let's keep going further, because remember, this site is a cryptocurrency phishing site, and we need to figure out more, and that's why we're doing a publicly available. So this is not illegal, this is actually legal, because this is publicly available information. And also, one more thing I forgot to mention is that we can also check the type of languages that the site is built in. So we are going to use WhatWeb, and then we'll say, just a minute, let me remember the command. WhatWeb gom.cc, sorry, that's a zero, gom.cc dash p, and let's see how it works. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, it's begun. All right. So the dash v at the end after I wrote whatweb dash v is basically stands for the v. The dash v stands for verbose. So it's going to provide us with as much information as possible that is needed. So I'm going to wait for this to finish, and I'll be back once it's done. Okay, the scan is done. So now let's go deep and find out. Just a minute. Just give me a bit. Okay, so now let's go back up. So we did the DNS recon, and then from there we decided to find out what technologies this site is using, and we said whatwebgom.cc-v. Sorry about that. So here it's saying simple hostname detected, gom.cc. It's going to test both HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP standing for Hypertext Transfer Protocol and HTTPS standing for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. So HTTP usually on port 80 and HTTPS on port 443. So here we're going to find what type of technologies this is used. So here it's showing us that the status, instead of showing a 200 OK, it's saying 301, meaning the site has been moved. We don't have the title, but it has given us the IP address, and where this site is being hosted is in the United States. And then summary of the HTTP server. So it's using Cloudflare, and then it's going to have a redirect location to https://com.cc with uncommon headers. And then we have the HTTP server header string. This plugin also attempts to identify the operating system from the server header. So the string saying Cloudflare from server string. So as we said so earlier, we know that the server it's using is Cloudflare already, and this is just to confirm and to find out the type of tools it's using. So now the next thing we're going to do is, okay, so there's something interesting here. So skipping duplicate target already, okay, so that's not important. So we're going to skip the next one. We'll try the what web this time, but without the -v. Just find out what type of tech stack it's using or technology stack. It's using a certain programming language, PHP, HTML, things like that. But we know it's using HTML because you could see the index dot something there. So we're going to say what web again. What web gom.cc, and then let's try to scan and see what's there. Okay, so it's provided the exact same thing, but in less detailed. So in the United States, HTTP server is Cloudflare using cookies. So we can't find exactly what type of programming language it's using, but from the site, if we go back to our sandbox, this is an index.html page, meaning this one is also using PHP if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so we move to the other one to find out more information. One of the tools I would also like to explain is Spiderfoot. So I was testing it a bit, so I had to pause to make sure that I'm using the correct command. So 127.0.0.1, and this one is using port 5001. So I went 5001, and then let's wait for it to load, and then from there we're going to scan our target. So let's just wait for it to load. Okay, so now we have to open our browser. So because I'm using Kali Linux, it's going to be a bit slow when running, but at least this is more efficient. So I'm just going to do that because I already copied it a bit earlier. So I'm going to come here, new scan. I haven't scanned anything with Spiderfoot so far. So I'm going to name it, we'll call it phishing scan, or we'll call it crypto phishing. Let's just call it crypto phishing for easy because you know it's a cryptocurrency. So it's a crypto phishing, and then we scan our target. So this is my first time using Spiderfoot. So I'm going to do www.gom.cc. That was in capital letters. So say www.gom.cc. So here, as you can see, you can get anything and everything about the target, understand what information this target exposes to the internet, investigate best for when you suspect the target to be malicious but need more information. And then what other ones there? Sorry for this, but I can't scan or can't zoom in for you to see. And then this one saying passive, when you don't want the target to even suspect they are being investigated, as much information will be gathered without touching the target or They're affiliates. Therefore, only modules that do not touch target will be enabled. So we're going to do investigate because this is a phishing link, and then we try to say run scan now, and let's see how Spiderfoot goes to work, because this is my first time using Spiderfoot the 2. I've heard it's very popular, and I thought maybe let me try it live on this YouTube demo for those that are going to watch this channel. And I would like you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for new videos. I post not consistently, but most of the time I post whatever information I have that is needed. So when Spiderfoot is downloading, I'll be back with the information. Okay, so as Spiderfoot is running, we opened it in the terminal, so you can see what's happening in the background. Since we're running Spiderfoot in our browser, you can see this is happening. And then I think it's done here. So it's saying crypto phishing scans total 0, unique status. Okay, nothing. Collections. So far, it has not found anything. So okay, so it's still loading. My bad, that was too quick. Let's see what it's done. So as it is loading, when it's complete, I'll let you know. Like this is my first time using Spiderfoot, and I'm really impressed. Like the way the thing you're able to see, like you're investigating in real time, unlike manual testing where it takes a lot of hours and days. Like with Spiderfoot, it really makes the OSINT a little bit faster. As you can see, the graphs are changing, and you're able to tell, and makes your investigation a little bit easier, unlike doing manual method. So until it's done, let's see how things go. So I'll let you know when it's done. I just want to say that Spiderfoot is a powerful tool. As you can see, the graph keeps changing as it scans more. And if you're wondering, it was in light mode. I've just changed it to dark mode, so nothing much has changed. Okay, I'm sure it's done now. So okay, so here saying total 390, unique 226. The status is finished. It has 40 errors. And then we can look at the percentage unique elements. And then here we can see that there's an email address, BGP as membership. So we come here. So we have HTTP headers, HTTP status codes with the hash, the hashing. So the ones that should interest us is the linked URL internal, the URL forms, and then the unique elements, and the web content. So these are things that should interest us. As you can see here, it's saying stopped as well, saying it's complete. So we can move to the next one. Let's check if our AMAS is done, the enumeration. Let's see, maybe AMAS is done here. Okay, yeah, it's done. So we can now come and test, or rather check for others, and see. We move to the next phase of the pen testing, which is we move from reconnaissance to the next phase, which will be coming up soon. Just give me a bit. Okay, the next one, or the next phase rather, these are new commands I'm going to be introducing to you. We're going to use a tool called Nicto. This one is used to find vulnerabilities, which is phase 2 after you've gotten the intelligence. So we're going to say Nicto dash h, then we're going to say https, then we're going to have gom.cc, and let's see what it has for us. Okay, so Nick hasn't provided anything. Let's try a different tool. Okay, so welcome back. This since Nicto has failed, we're going to use WP scan to find out if it's using WordPress plugins. So say WP scan. I tried it a bit earlier. Dash URL. http gom.cc dash enumerate vp. This is to find out if there are any vulnerabilities, and then we hit enter to make sure it's scanning. So we wait for it to load. Okay, so according to WordPress, the website is up, which is true, but does not seem to be running WordPress. So let's try another alternative where now we look at the source code. So we're back in our sandbox. I'm going to go to the home page now. And then come here. And then we're going to do Control Shift plus I. This is now the developer's console. You get to investigate things from here. Okay. Okay, there's nothing. So here we have the image, and then we have the index.html. What is it telling us? Okay, so it's using inline CSS in the HTML page. So okay, so you can see that there's some form of JavaScript here. So you can see that it's HTML with some JavaScript. We're also able to see it's using HTML5. We can see the JavaScript. I don't know much about JavaScript, but I can tell you that these lines of code here are using JavaScript. And then we can tell that here now it's now beginning to use CSS for the styling. And then you can just go scroll a bit down, find out the stylings that are there. So this one is internal stylings that are there. Okay. Alright, we can check the next one. Here we have static, right? So we have the image, or rather images, which use JavaScript. And we have another image. So let's see here. Okay. Let's check this out. This is how we get to investigate more. So you can see the code. So layer.css. I'm not going to go deep into programming because this is just an overview. And then we're about to see layer.js. Then we keep to investigate the code even further. Install.js. So this code has a lot of things. What I'm going to do now is basically paste this and ask one of the AIs to investigate this further. So just do this. Just see. As in, when using these things, remember that AI is a good tool, and make sure that you use it accordingly. And I'm using AI because of time. I don't want to have a very long video. So I'm going to use chat for this to investigate this install.js and look for malicious and check for as many vulnerabilities as possible. So I'm going to use chat. We paste it like that, and we say analyze this code, analyze this code and find vulnerabilities and any malicious encodings. Then we're going to say step by step so as it guides us properly. Step by step with a short sentence explanation. And then now we just have to wait. Okay, alright, according to chat. Alright, let's break this down calmly and safely. This script is a minified, obfuscated chat widget loader, Sales Smartly Chat plugin. It dynamically injects iframes, loads remote JS and CSS, communicates via port message. That alone is not malicious, but introduces security risks. So it's deliberately vulnerable. So the Webpack style bootstrap wrapper. This is a bundled JavaScript loader, Webpack-like. It's not malicious by itself, just obfuscated, so meaning it's hidden. And then we have the user agent and detection, detects mobile versus desktop to change layout, normal behavior, but used for conditional logic. And then we have dynamic iframe injection, especially it creates hidden iframes and it also injects them into the page dynamically. So this is for an attack surface for XSS and data leakage. So this is a cross-site scripting injection and data leakage. And then it loads JS and remote JS and CSS from external domain. This fully trusts and executes third-party JavaScript supply chain risk. And if that server is compromised, your site is compromised as well. So as we know, this is a malicious site. We're able to see that, and then also we get to understand that it has no integrity checks, SRI missing, though there is no sub-resource integrity. The browser cannot verify that the script wasn't modified, major security weakness, which is bad, especially if a browser cannot identify when you're using the in-browser console. And then wildcard post message target. It's okay, as you can see there, allows any origin to receive messages, which is very dangerous. And then the other one is a message listener. Message listener that trusts all senders, and then it does not check the origin. Any website or iframe can send fake commands like chat open, hide plugin, set brand, and pop-up open. This is serious vulnerability, which is a post message injection. I'm not going to talk much about that, but according to chat, that's what it's saying. So we can investigate this further. So when you say port message injection, let's just do a simple Google search. Just a brief overview of what it is. What is port message injection? Okay, so according to Google, it's saying a port a port message injection vulnerability occurs when a web application improperly handles data received from Windows from window post message API, because post message allows cross-origin communication between different browsing contexts, such as between an iframe and a parent window. Failing to securely validate the sender's origin or sanitize the message content can enable an attacker to inject malicious simple result attacker to enable it the message content can enable an attacker to inject malicious scripts that will result into a cross-site scripting or other malicious actions. So that's basically what it is. And then we have seen that it has sensitive user data stored globally. Information. Uh, the user uses personal identifiable information (PII) is stored in global JS variables. Any other script can read it. This can cause data leakage, privacy violations, and the GDPR issues. And then it also has history hijacking. It explains, so basically our explanation is that it overrides what the browser history functions to track different URLs or universal resource locators. It is not malicious, but it is invasive and breaks other scripts. And then we have the shadow DOM used to hide elements. So it makes the UI harder to inspect and block. This can be abused for hiding behavior from security tools. So as you can see, like when some of the tools could not detect it or it could not provide any sensitive information, it was using the shadow DOM to hide elements. And then we have the audio autoload. This one loads external media without user consent. So it has this is a minor privacy risk, not very big. We also have the brand injection. If T or URL is attacker controlled, potential DOM-based cross-site scripting can happen. So I don't want to go deep, but just that was a basic overview of everything in general. Back to our attacking machine, which is Kali Linux. Okay, so let me log into this. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to use Suite Community Edition to scan this link that we found. So far, let's do a quick recap of what we have done so far. And this is basically how hacking looks like, different from how Mr. Robot looks like, or most hacking scenes where it's done in 5 minutes and everything. So basically what we're talking about here is finding why this link is malicious. So here when you try the NS lookup, we are basically looking for the name saver. So it gave us the two IP addresses for the saver and the IP address that the user or that the site is using. And then it brought into other things. We tried using the harvester, but couldn't find anything because it was taking too long. And then we came here, we used AMAS for DNS enumeration to find out what was actually going on. Yeah. And then the next step we did is, this was under intelligence gathering, or what we call reconnaissance. And then we also used WhatWeb. We used the tool called WhatWeb. We also used DNS Recon, or domain name server reconnaissance, to find out more about this site, and they provided this information, very detailed information. And we tried it again and it provided us with just a little but important information as well. So just by this you can tell that this is not a legitimate website. And then we also did Spiderfoot that did an automatic scan for us, which is a good thing, because instead of us having to go down the rabbit hole and investigate each and every step manually, Spiderfoot makes that easier for us. Okay, and then we went into and did this one here, and this one. We tried WP scan, but it showed that the site is running, but it does not use WPS or WordPress plugins. So now what we're going to do is investigate this website using Suite Community Edition. When it's downloading, I'll be back. Okay, I've opened my web suite. So now let me just say open browser. It's going to open its own browser because web suite comes with its own browser, which uses Chromium. So wait for it to load. So while we're doing that, oh, okay. Okay, let's just wait for it to load and we'll be back soon. Okay, so our web suite has opened. Now there was a time when I was testing, so I'm going to say www dot dot cc and then watch web suite in action. So it's saying, so this is the one it's given us. This site doesn't support a secure connection. Attackers can see and change information you send or receive from the site. It's safest to visit this site later if you're using a public network. There's less risk from the trusted network like your home or Wi-Fi. You might also contact the owner or suggest. So I'm going to say continue to site because I want to test it. So basically Websuite has provided us with a warning, and that's why I opened it in sandbox and okay. So we can see it even better now. And let's say we can log in. Let me just show you the background in here. So as you can see, we can see what's happening. So this is the target. So the target is the site that we've been given, right? Yeah. And then here it's saying we're getting, right? So it's getting information. Status code 301, like what it said in the terminal in our Kali Linux. So it means it has been permanently moved. Yeah, so let's do further. Let's try to log in. Let's see. Okay, let's try to log in to same GK. Just a minute. Okay, so I've accessed GK 2577 and then I'll put the password. Okay, all right. Then we're going to try this with the verification. So say 7356, then we'll log in. And then let's check what's happening in the background. Okay, let's do this. Nothing's happening. So let's send this to the repeater. Okay, so let's try to see if we can send this to the repeater. Come here, it has been sent to the repeater. So to that, send. Alright, so try to be changing these things here. Okay, so now we are interacting with the site. As you can see, this site is not okay. It keeps changing its auto. So this is the JavaScript waiting for interactivity to make you believe that this is an actual cryptocurrency site. Then we can try here. You can tell that this was a well thought out phishing cryptocurrency phishing scam. So let's come here and then we try to change one more thing. So let's see if we can change one thing here. Okay, let's start with this. Okay, so it's responded with 301 moved permanently. So let me try to change something. I'll be back soon. Okay, so I'm going to use one of the techniques I'm going to use to try and bypass this. I'm going to say Control A. I was doing a little bit practice. I'm only going to show you this one thing, and I'm not going to go further than this because YouTube might block my channel. Okay, so it's brought something new. All right, so here, sorry, I used a bit of AI to help me with this. So here it's saying I have to replace with the actual server. So I'm going to do that. So we're now going to go into our virtual machine, our Kali Linux. I'm going to log in and get the IP address of the server. That's what we do when we're doing intelligence gathering reconnaissance. It helps us because as you go deep into the rabbit hole, you get to understand that the reconnaissance that you did will require you to come back after some time because the IP addresses you found will be necessary for the following phases. So I'm just going to show you this and then we'll move to the next one. But I'm not going to go too deep. I do not want YouTube to block my channel. So we'll get this here. 192.168.25.2, and I'm going to just paste it here. Okay, oh, okay, Control Z. So 192.168.25.2. So I'm going to have 192.168.25.2. But before we did that, like the first request that I brought where I had some access there, it was saying HTTP server 400 bad request, server Cloudflare, date Sunday 8 February 2026. And then we can check for other things here. So let's try to send it now. Okay, still brought the request. So here it's hard to bypass. So I think I'll not go deep than this. I'll end the session there. Yeah, so as you could see the chat thingy, I used DeepSeek to help me with the prompt on the AI, but so far you get the gist of it, and that's how you get to investigate phishing links. That's how you get to investigate phishing links. So remember to stay safe out there and make sure that you check these things. And I would like to say thank you very much. I would have gone deep, but YouTube doesn't allow us to go into deep ethical hacking. Remember, this is for educational purposes. My name is Promise Ndlovu. I am a professional ethical hacker with 3 years of experience in the field of cybersecurity. And watch out for my next upcoming videos. This one will be incomplete due to YouTube guidelines. Thank you very much. Please hit like, subscribe, and comment what you want to listen to or what you want me to do next. Thank you.